Have you ever felt like being completely honest got you into more trouble than it was worth? Like you were just trying to do the right thing, but your honesty backfired and messed things up? We're taught from childhood that honesty is the best policy. We're told to always tell the truth, no matter what. But what if that's not always the case? What if, in some situations, the smartest thing you can do is to just stop being so honest? Now, before you go thinking this is some kind of shady self-help advice, I want to be clear. I'm not telling you to lie all the time, but there's a huge difference between being a compulsive liar and being strategically silent. Today, we're going to dive deep into a concept that Carl Jung, one of the greatest minds in psychology, understood better than anyone. It's about the power of what you don't say. It's about protecting your energy, your privacy, and your relationships. It's about knowing when to keep your mouth shut for your own good. But before we continue, I'm offering you a free ebook to thank you for supporting the channel. Download it now and begin your journey towards self-discovery, dream interpretation, and shadow work. Hurry because it's free. The link is on the channel page. So what is the problem with brutal honesty? Think about it. We've all got that one friend, right? The one who's just a little too honest. You show them your new haircut, and they're like, yeah, it's different. I like the old one better. Or you're excited about a new project, and they say, honestly, I don't think that's going to work out. They think they're doing you a favor, but all they're really doing is deflating your excitement and making you feel bad. This isn't just about hurt feelings. This is about social dynamics. Carl Jung spent his life studying the human psyche, and he knew that we don't just live in a world of facts. We live in a world of symbols, archetypes, and social constructs. He understood that our persona, the mask we wear for the world, is essential for functioning in society. Brutal honesty is like ripping that mask off, not just for you, but for others. When you're just being honest, you're often violating an unspoken social contract. Let's take a common example. You're at work. Your boss asks for feedback on a new idea. It's a terrible idea. It's convoluted, expensive, and it won't work. The brutally honest thing to do is to say, that's a stupid idea, and here's why. But what's the result? You'll probably get branded as negative, difficult, or uncooperative. Your boss will get defensive. The entire meeting will become a standoff. Now, what if you took a different approach? Instead of saying it's a bad idea, you could say, that's an interesting concept. You're being diplomatic, not dishonest. You're preserving the relationship and still moving things forward. This is the difference between being a truth teller and being a destructive force. Jung would call this an understanding of the shadow self, that hidden, unintegrated part of us. When we're brutally honest, we often project our own frustrations and judgments onto others. It's not always about truth. It's sometimes about our own need to feel superior or to prove we're right. We're not just telling the truth, we're using it as a weapon. Now let's talk about the power of not oversharing. Think about how much you share on social media or even with your closest friends. In today's world, there's this pressure to overshare, to put your entire life on display. We're told to be authentic and live your truth. And while that's great in theory, in practice, it can be really damaging. You don't need to post every single moment of your life. You don't need to share your deepest insecurities with everyone. Why? Because not everyone has your best interests at heart. Some people are just looking for something to gossip about. Others might use your vulnerability against you later on. This isn't paranoia. It's just a simple fact of human nature. Jung understood that a part of us needs to remain private, needs to be protected. Our inner world is sacred. When you overshare, you're giving away pieces of yourself that you can never get back. You're exposing your vulnerabilities to a world that isn't always kind. This is why having boundaries is so important. Saying, I'm not comfortable talking about that, isn't being dishonest. It's being wise. It's protecting your peace. Let's look at an example. You're going through a tough time. Maybe you're struggling financially. You feel like you should be honest with your friends about it. So you tell everyone how broke you are. What happens? Some people might feel sorry for you. Some might offer help, but others might start to see you as a burden or a charity case. They might stop inviting you out because they assume you can't afford it. Your vulnerability, instead of bringing you closer, can actually create distance and change how people see you. Now, what if you handled it differently? You could say, "Hey, I'm trying to cut back on spending right now, so I'm gonna sit out on dinner, but let's grab coffee soon." You're being honest about your decision without giving away all the intimate details of your situation. You're protecting your dignity and your privacy. You're not lying. You're just not oversharing. Society has a weird relationship with the white lie. On one hand, we're told they're wrong. On the other, we use them all the time to make life smoother. Carl Jung didn't focus on the morality of lying, but on its psychological function. Sometimes a small, harmless lie is a tool to maintain harmony. Think about the classic example. Your grandma makes a dish you just can't stand. She asks, "Did you like it?" The brutally honest answer is, "No, it's pretty gross." The result? You've hurt her feelings. You've possibly created a rift in your relationship. But the white lie, "Oh, it was great, thank you." That lie preserves her feelings, shows your appreciation for her effort, and keeps the peace. Now, is that morally wrong? Maybe, if you look at it in a vacuum. But in the context of human relationships, it's a social lubricant. It's a way of showing compassion and respect. It's the difference between being a social engineer and a social wrecking ball. This isn't about being a fake person. It's about recognizing that not every thought you have needs to be vocalized. Not every truth needs to be told, especially if it serves no purpose other than to cause pain or disruption. Jung believed in the importance of integrating our different selves, our light and our shadow. The same applies to our interactions with others. We can be honest and authentic without being tactless and destructive. So you might be asking yourself how to stop being so honest. So, how do you put this into practice? It's not about becoming a liar. It's about becoming more intentional with your words. First, practice the pause. Before you speak, ask yourself, is this necessary? Is this kind? Does this improve the situation or just make me feel righteous? Most of the time, that pause will be enough to stop you from saying something you'll regret. Second, focus on the intent. What's the real reason you're about to say something brutally honest? Is it to help the other person? Or is it to make yourself feel better? Be honest with yourself about your own motivations. If you realize your intent is selfish, maybe it's better to keep that thought to yourself. Third, learn to reframe. Instead of saying something negative, find a constructive way to express your point. Instead of, "This idea won't work," try, "Have we thought about potential challenges with this approach?" You're still communicating your concerns, but you're doing it in a way that invites collaboration, not conflict. Finally, understand that privacy is a form of power. The less people know about your private life, the more control you have over your own narrative. The more you protect your inner world, the more energy you have to build the life you want, without the constant noise and judgment from others. So, maybe the saying honesty is the best policy needs an asterisk. Honesty is a powerful tool, but like any tool, it needs to be used with skill and discernment. Carl Jung would tell you that the path to a healthy psyche isn't just about truth, it's about balance. It's about knowing when to speak your mind and when to protect your peace. It's about being true to yourself while also being considerate of others. Don't be a liar. Be a master of discretion. Be a guardian of your own story. After all, the things you don't say are just as important as the things you do. What do you think? Have you ever had a situation where being too honest got you in trouble? Share your story in the comments below. Let's get a conversation going about the fine line between honesty and wisdom. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content on psychology, self-discovery, and building a better life.